Today's guest, Chestor Kochan, born and raised in Chicago's Bucktown neighborhood. He attended Lane Tech High School before earning his civil engineering degree from the University of Illinois Chicago with an emphasis in structural engineering. Over the course of his 40-plus year career, Chestor has built experience across both building and transportation infrastructure projects, with approximately 20% of his work in building construction and the majority focused on roadway and bridge construction. He has spent 36 years with ClarkDietz, beginning as a material tester and ultimately rising to vice president and member of the firm's board of directors. Chestor Kochan. How are you, Chestor?
I'm wonderful, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, certainly.
We really appreciate your time and really all of the things that you've poured into the civil engineering community. I want to start off just by getting to know you a little better, at least for the people out there that don't know you. Talk to me about your upbringing, where you're from, what school did you go to, things like that.
Okay. I grew up in Bucktown. We were surrounded by Armitage Damon and the Kennedy Expressway, so I grew up kind of playing on some of the embankment on the expressway. Football, there was a nice flat area. Grew up, had just great friends I've kept all through my lives. It's where my mom and dad moved from. They grew up on they had a place on Wabansia, and then they moved to Bucktown area, and just a bunch of friends that I've basically kept through all my life, and grew up going to school, grade school, Drummond School, and then after that went to Lane Tech High School. Okay, and just maintained a lot of friendships through and through. There was a nice little place we played baseball in Bucktown, and then actually played quite a bit of baseball there. And then went to UIC. So my entire education has occurred within the Chicago city limits.
Really? You stayed in Chicago?
I did, yes. Yeah, stayed in UIC.
Okay. So was the neighborhood you grew up in, was it a diverse community?
Very diverse, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We loved it. We enjoyed the food in the neighborhood. We just had remarkable, Sunday dinners, get-togethers. Yeah. We'd have block parties, and it was just absolutely amazing to get to know everybody.
So where'd you start your career when you graduated from USC?
I started as a geotechnical person. I wanted to understand what would be holding up the buildings and bridges that I would be designing and working on. So I wanted to get some more geotech experience, which I wasn't sure I got quite enough at UIC, although it was very good courses I took. Once I got out into the geotech world, I just loved it, and I just enjoyed being out in the field.
So you enjoy playing in dirt.
I enjoy playing in dirt. I got dirty. The dirtier, the better. I was a drill rig operator for a while, and an assistant, and did the soil borings, did the geotechnical reports, and I loved it. I loved being in the field, and got to know several structural engineers while we were doing the work. And I just realized I would love to do what they do, but I also love the field. So I stayed in the field. My first big job was with ClarkDietz, the lakefront highway up in Waukegan, and that was building a road where no road had existed prior, right along the highway, right along the lake, and just loved it. Got into survey work, and then got into documentation, and just realized I could make a career out of overseeing construction projects for clients, large clients. So part of my background is with vertical construction. I worked on 311 South Wacker. That was the world's tallest reinforced concrete building at the time. We did post-tensioning of the first 4 or 5 floors, and then it was reinforced, conventional reinforcing steel the rest of the way up until we got near the top, and then they put in some grade beams for some heavy air conditioning units and things like that. So I was back up there for the very high floors. And you don't realize how tall Sears Tower is until you're up on top of 311 South Wacker, and you still can't see the top of Sears Tower. So
wow,
very, very, very lucky to grow up in a city like Chicago, where we have bridges, airports, waterways.
We got it all.
And it's just fascinating. So
you've had an amazing career. Sound like you have some really good experience, and you were able to move up to vice president level at your firm, become a shareholder. Talk to me about that process.
So it was kind of surprising. We were at a shareholders meeting, and president of the company brought out a box of business cards and said, "We want to bring up Chestor to the front of the audience here." And I thought I was just getting a box of new business cards. And he said, we want to make him a vice president. And I was the youngest department manager he had ever made. And now I was one of the youngest VPs he had ever put into place. And then I kind of got into upper-level operations for the company, oversaw Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, the construction engineering groups for all 3 states. I love traveling. I love going to different places, seeing different things, different clients, and just trying to organize all that at the same time. I like being busy, and that was a good way to keep busy.
Oh, yeah. No, that's amazing. So then were you in talks with your company about, becoming a shareholder prior to that day they called you up, or how did that just happen?
So it just kind of happened. When ClarkDietz bought themselves back out of CRS back in the day, some of the owners were given the opportunity to bring the ClarkDietz name back out with them out of CRS, and they did. And I was, when I started the Lakefront Highway project, that was probably 87, 88. Mm-hmm. So that's about when ClarkDietz started as ClarkDietz in Champaign again. And I was brought in early. I guess I was thought of as a up-and-comer. So they made me a share offer, and I was flattered. And saving for a house and just having a couple of kids and things like that, just married, it was expensive. Yeah. But I found a way to at least buy in a couple of shares and bought in. It meant a lot to me to be offered ownership, and to this day I'm an owner.
Yeah, and then looking back on it, was it worth it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You get a piece of the action. You are, you understand why things are done. You see all the information and things like that for the company. So yes.
Yeah. No, I don't understand it, but I think it's worth it for everyone to really look at those opportunities, because, right now, what's more rewarding than being able to build something and also be a part of reaping the benefits of what you've built. Mm-hmm. So you've done a lot. You have a extensive resume that, was just honored and awarded. Mm-hmm. You were giving Mentor of the Year.
Yes, thank you. It's quite an honor. And I hope ACEC hope to keep them proud of me for 2026 at least.
Yeah. So what was your first reaction when you heard about this award? Just being nominated?
I was shocked. I was shocked at the nomination. I was shocked at me being one of the 3 finalists with 2 other great folks.
Yeah.
And I was honored to get to that point.
Yeah.
And when I found out, I was just I think I floated to the podium to pick up my award. I don't remember walking up to the podium. I was that excited. I think I might have knocked some people over going to get it. I was shocked.
Yeah, you were up against some giants. I didn't know they were being nominated as well. Tanya, I go back with her. She worked at IDOT and was always a mentor to everyone that came through IDOT in some way, shape, or form. And then who's the other? Roderick. Yeah, I haven't really worked with him, but, a good guy, always speaking, passing. So it was a tough field. It was definitely a tough field, and you came out and they said your name, and I just want to know what was going through your mind.
I was shocked. I was just shocked. And to the other finalists, they both came up to me, very gracious and wonderful people. So the 3 of us together were. I thought, well, we what a great mentor group, and then all the other folks that were up in the running as well. I mean, it's quite an honor. Yeah. And just for the recognition of being a mentor whatsoever, and then to be at that point is just absolutely fascinating to me.
For sure. Who was the first person you thought of when you got that award?
Well, I thought of you, Michael. I really did. I don't like I don't like disappointing people. And when I saw what you had gone through to put that application together for the nomination for me, and I was red-faced the whole time reading it. I was just embarrassed to have somebody say those kind of things about me that I didn't realize people were actually aware of, or you were aware of. So, I didn't want to disappoint you. So once I jumped up, thought about you first, and of course my wife and kids second. But
beautiful.
Thank you for the nomination. And
we won't show your wife this, because you should have been thinking about.
Don't show. No.
Should have been thinking about her first. Oh, wait.
Right.
All right. Yeah. But I think you definitely deserve it. You mentored us through a big project, and I can't take the credit alone. It was a collective, a group that came together and said, hey, this is someone who, he's mentored us, he's mentored you, like, can we come and pull something together? And I was all in for it. So I was like, yeah, it was definitely the right thing to do. You don't realize the impact that you have on people's lives, but I thought that, this is the perfect opportunity for you to realize, if you don't already, how impactful you are in many people's lives that you encounter. So thank you so much for that. I think you deserve it.
Thank you.
Did you always see yourself as a mentor or becoming a mentor, or is this something that just naturally occurred for you?
So I never gave it much thought. I remember being back in school, and you take the ACT exam, I believe it was, and on the back you see the pie chart, and the things are here and the people are here, and I was always better with things than people. So I never dreamed that I could help people or mentor them or be part of assisting people in what they need, other than technical work. And I guess I thought back a little bit to when I was in Little League, Churchill Field back in Bucktown. And I remember helping other kids that just weren't as good as I thought they could be. And, I guess I was an okay player. And I enjoyed helping other folks. Maybe that's where it started, with just helping somebody learn to keep your head down when you're catching a ball, and things like that. So it may go back to Little League. Yeah. And I never realized that how powerful mentoring could be by someone who would take the time out of their day to help somebody else. And I know it was appreciated. So I would say it goes back at least to that point in Little League.
And what is that like? What does mentoring mean to you beyond just the title of being a mentor? But what does that mean to you?
Well, a little selfish, I guess, but it means I'm appreciated for what the extra effort we're doing for folks. I don't mean to sound that selfish, but to me personally, it means certainly after the award, I didn't realize it was that recognized, and that I know it's important, but it certainly meant a lot to me to have somebody say, we really appreciate you doing this. So for me, it might be a little selfish reason, but
was that the last award of the day?
Yeah, actually it was. So maybe that's why we got such a round of applause, because everybody was glad to get to the drinks.
Tell us about one mentee story that changed you as much as you changed them. Like, you learned something from being a mentor.
So I'm thinking back to when I did presentations at UIC. I was brought back in to do engineering, I believe it was 100, 101, just an introduction engineering course. And I would give little lectures on resume building, PE licensing, why you want to be a PE, things like that. And then kind of at the end of the presentations when I did them, I would just also include a little discussion of what we look for, what we think successful engineers should consist of, and a few things like that. And I would run through, realize that engineering is a business also. As much as engineering is, it's a business. We've got to keep that in mind. And just some tidbits. And one of the items I brought up was to be resilient. And I thought that was an important trait for engineers to have. So we all get knocked down at times, and it's not that we get knocked down, it's whether we get up or not. And I remember talking about having a difficult problem to work out when I was in school, and I was sharing with folks that, I couldn't figure out the problem, so I would just get a good night's sleep, and I'd wake up, and I still couldn't figure it out because it was a difficult problem. Yeah. But it helped you reset, and it helped you realize that, there's other people out there that can help with things like that. Yeah. So never get discouraged. Engineering it's a very tough thing to do. It's mathematics, it's science. The folks that are good at it, seem to find an easier way. The folks that may just be more interested in it and just enjoy doing it may not have discovered that art of becoming really good at it yet. So I just told folks, just stay with it. Don't give up if you believe engineering is your future. And a couple times I've had some folks, and it was one person in particular, who emailed me and said, "You've changed my life," because I was about to switch entirely disciplines, because I didn't realize that other people had difficulty with issues like this. And then I guess he looked at me and maybe thought I was a little successful. And he basically had said, I thought it came easy to you. And I assured him nothing I did in school came easy. So he continued on. He became an engineer.
Wonderful.
So it touched me, definitely touched me that I've impacted at least one person out there.
Yeah. Now, you've impacted many, so that's good to hear.
Thank you. Yeah, then that changed me, because I realized how much 5 or 10 minutes of somebody's time could help somebody else out. And even in a room full of 30, 40 people, it made a difference to a few people. So.
Micro-mentoring.
Absolutely. I like
that.
I like that term.
I just made it up.
I'm gonna use that and give you credit.
Micro-mentoring.
I like that.
Right. But no, you talk about resilience. You talk about the characteristics and attributes that an individual need to become a successful civil engineer, and is interesting because I talk about it in my book, How to Become a Civil Engineer. I have a whole chapter about these things, what to look for, developing that mental toughness, developing your why. I think the best engineers, they get knocked down. And I think even if you look at the curriculum, I think the point of it, because most of it you're never going to use again, but the point of it is to give you tough, challenging projects that you have to figure out what to do. Some of those courses in class are designed to knock you down and develop that resilience, develop that. I don't know one engineer that probably looked at a certain course and thought about this and was like, man, maybe this is not for me, because I don't really enjoy this part of it. But I also remember taking, courses like thermodynamics and taking, dynamics and just different courses that I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the goal was to complete it, get through it, get a good grade and go on to the next. And I found that once you got out of all of those weed out courses, is what we called them, then everything became easy and it was fun. Mm-hmm. The courses started to become fun. Mm-hmm. So I think what you're saying is very important. I think people need to understand that, anything worth having is going to be challenging, at least initially.
It is. And even when you learn something and you later forget it after the final exam, maybe the next time you need to learn it, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So, and I believe that's also why we learn everything we do, to just make it easier the next time we need to learn something. You can look it up. And, hey, I've done this before. I can do it again. So
reference.
Yep.
So, who mentored you?
I'm going to say several folks. So my dad passed away early. I think I was 12, 13 years old, and I kind of took my my brother-in-law, who was older, as one of my mentors to just see how he would do things, and one of my uncles and a few people like that. So I'm kind of an assemblance of several folks that I would always kind of think, I wonder how they would do this. Mm-hmm. So, and I later thanked them, and when I had a chance, because I thought they needed to know that, as I grew older, that they were instrumental, even though they may not have known it. And I was probably a little too shy to tell them at the time, but definitely wanted them to know that they helped mentor me through some very hard times.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily taken a bunch of different routes and didn't. And certainly within the engineering world, and on construction sites, you've got a lot of mentors. State resident engineers. You've got tollway engineers. Lots and lots and lots of folks who are eager to make sure the project succeeds and help. So there've been a lot of good ones. A lot that maybe could have been a touch better, but I've learned a lot from both. Mm-hmm. Just an assembly of a lot of people that have helped me. People that saw a little bit in me that gave me the confidence to kind of move on instead of kind of crawling into the corner and saying, you know what, I'm gonna just kind of stay here and let the day go by. yeah, just when you get that little bit, somebody gives you a little bit of confidence in yourself and believe in you, that made a big difference. So it's been a lot of people.
Yeah.
Can't really name anybody, but
okay.
If I ever write a book, I'll put them in alphabetical order. How's that?
Yeah. So here's a question: have you ever asked someone to be your mentor, or how do these mentor relationships get formed for folks that are in their professional career or they're going through school and they want to understand? How do I get in contact with someone like Chestor and then, form a relationship or a bond that may become a mentorship relationship?
So I haven't. I was always a little too, introverted to reach out to someone and say, "Can you mentor me?" Because what is a mentor? It seems like an odd term, but I believe it's a fundamental of leadership that we be mentors. So once you realize it's innate to leadership, it takes on a whole different spin. Certainly for me, but I see nothing wrong with walking up to someone at the end of a presentation. If you're giving a lecture, if you're talking, if you're interested in some part of what somebody said, you certainly reach out to them and just express an interest in maybe helping to volunteer for something they're doing, or can you assist with something like that. I would heavily rely on that bit of advice.
That's a great take. I've never thought of it that way. Either you mentioned that you feel mentoring is a form of leadership, which you're absolutely correct, because you are trying to guide someone. But when you do also get to a level where you have some wisdom or some lived experience that can help someone else, you using that to pour into somebody else and help them develop quicker or better, become better, maybe even avoid the obstacles that you may have tripped over. I think that's a very good point, because mentoring brings out a lot of you. A lot of characteristics. You have to be able to communicate effectively. You have to be able to relate. Leadership. Like, how do, you live your life, or how do you lead? Like, do you lead by example? Do you, I don't know. There's so many things you can kind of formulate that into, but that's definitely a great point. I never really thought of it in that aspect.
Yeah, and I do like to lead by example. I mean, I'm usually the first one in, the last one out, and you're there. Your folks see you. They're going to give their best effort because you're doing your part for the team.
Yeah. So and that's a form of mentoring, because people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
People are always watching. How do you balance accountability with encouragement? Like, you may have someone that, they may be working for you, and, you see them slacking, right? And you want to, at least for me, I just want to be straightforward and just, kind of say, what in the, are you doing? But not everybody receives that type of feedback. So how do you balance it?
It's very difficult. And typically when you go to someone and you ask them for what you ask them to do, it's sometimes at the end of a schedule where you're pressed and you're just, a little less patience than you normally would have. So I don't like looking over folks' shoulders, because I don't like people looking over my shoulders. We all do things differently in different speeds and things like that. It's very tough. It's very tough to have people accountable for things. If you're not providing some level of oversight, it's easy to say just keep an open door policy where people can come in, but they won't come in a lot if there are questions, or if they have to ask the same question 2 or 3 times. I think it's just getting to steps. When you're halfway done, let me take a look at it. When you're 75% done, look at it. At the end of the day, you think it's a 4-hour task and somebody's been working at it for 6 hours. Probably ought to check on them and nudge them and be a little patient. I think patience goes a long way, but we all have deadlines to meet. Well, we all have budgets to meet.
Mm-hmm. So, and once again, like you said, we have to realize it's a business.
It is a business, so, right?
But maybe that's where the 30, 60, 90 came in, because, as I talk about in my book, The Personality of an Engineer, we avoid conflict a lot. So Everyone's always, it's fine, or everyone's, happy. They may not be happy, but they won't express themselves fully maybe until they up and get to the point where they quit. Right? So you have this, everything's okay, and then out of nowhere you see somebody just, boom, they're gone.
Right,
and then you hear about all of the issues that they may have had. So, how do you deal with that?
I guess maybe I do look over people's shoulders more than I like to admit. I don't spy on them, but I kind of know what it takes. That's one reason as I was growing up into my position, and now what I do for ClarkDietz, I oversee the Phase 3 operation for just our Northeast construction projects, and I'm also a liaison engineer in one IDOT project. So as I was growing up and growing into my career, rather, I wanted to learn how to do everything. So I knew how much time it would take, even though I could have and should have been delegating earlier in my career certain things. So I know what it takes to do things, and if I need to step in and help with something, or if I need to physically do it, you don't have the time to do it, but it's essential that you do that and lead by example, show folks how to do it and what the finished product should look like. Give them an example of something that's already been done. Here, when you're done, it's sort of going to look like this, type thing. So, yeah, no easy answer to that one, Michael. Sorry.
Okay.
No.
All right. I thought you had the answer.
No, I wish I did. I wish I did. Right. Maybe at your next time you sit me down, I'll have a better answer.
Sounds good. What are some mistakes that you see or think mentors make when they interact with a mentee?
I think just not giving them enough time. I believe engineers have an introverted component to them, and sometimes we're afraid to ask for help. And especially if you've got a mentor that may not always have a smile on his or her face, because we're all stressed and strained at times. I think mentors have to put themselves in that person's shoes. When I used to coach baseball, and it was easy to show somebody how to throw a ball, and it's like, well, why can't you throw the ball like this? Well, I would try doing it left-handed and just try and see what it would be for me. I'm a righty. What would it be like for me to throw the ball with this hand? It's very hard because so it gave me a little more patience to help people understand how to do things. So I think it's just having a little more compassion or a little compassion to have people put themselves in that spot, because they don't know what we know.
Yeah. So
it's going to take a little extra time, and patience and time is not something we all have in our day, but it's valuable. And the mentees look at the mentors, and the mentors cast a big shadow. So what that means is the mentees will look up to us and see how we do things. And if we're a little less than friendly with them, maybe they'll pick up on that and just take that to their subordinates and daisy chain down. So, So the only thing I can say, and patience is hard. Yeah. But it's required. Definitely to let people know that what they're going to be doing with their careers is very important and needed, and STEM and everything else. It's critical. We're in a finite planet, and we're just having to do more with less every single day. So we all need to learn how to work together, live together, and teaching folks and mentoring folks into what we know is going to work. And just letting folks know there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just gotta kind of be persistent, and again, ask for help if something's needed, and look for someone that can help you. Somebody out there has already probably gone through what you're going to go through, and reach out and ask for for a few minutes of someone's time to see if they can they can assist and move you forward.
How do you think organizations can do a better job supporting, that mentorship culture?
I think we've been pretty successful. We've at ClarkDietz, we've got a mentorship program, and I have what we call a pod, so I've got 4 folks in my pod that we meet once quarterly, and just for a place to bring things up, I guess. So for organizations in general, I mean, just having just understanding that it's very needed, and just taking the time for senior folks and other folks, managers to take their time to just help bring people up to where they need to be.
It's just like after hours, is it during the day? Do you all do activities together?
So both. It'll be during the day, just a teams meeting with the different folks, and just a brief agenda, and nothing we really relay to upper management. We just let everybody know they're open and free to discuss things and problems and what they might be having. And then we also will meet maybe once a year somewhere, maybe twice a year, and just do a meeting, for a dinner somewhere, maybe a little outing, just to get to know folks.
Tell me about the mentorship program over at ClarkDietz again. I know you said that you meet quarterly with the team. What do you all do?
We have different different general topics to discuss. One may be about leadership, one might be about management, one might be about business development, or just folks' needs. The younger engineers as they're coming up, what are they looking for? Things like that. So, and then we assign different folks to different groups, and then we'll just have a mentor overseeing a pod. And the pod is typically 3 to 4 people. So, we'll have some of our managers, someone like me, just someone who's more experienced with, with leadership and things like that in the company, and just my years with the company, what works, what doesn't work. So it's about a 45-minute discussion, and very, very loose agenda. So folks just come in and can more freely talk, and that's what we want, just an open dialogue. And we'll try to make sure nobody just kind of steals the conversation, because we want to make sure everybody gets their fair time in. And it's usually done pretty well. This is our second year. It's a 2-year program that we have. So. I'm in the second year of this, so I think it's going very, very well, and it just allows people to ask questions that they're may not be quite sure where to ask other parts of the company. It's done well. We're going to continue that into at least to the near future for sure.
Well, I know you're a busy man, so
thank you.
We're going to round it off with some fast, rapid-fire questions that I have for you, and hopefully I'm hoping these questions that I'm asking you will help our viewers out there who they're looking either for mentorship. They may be early on in their career and want to know, hey, how do I get to this level of success? So
okay, just don't ask me Cubs or Sox, okay?
I might ask you that. Matter of fact, I'll start off there. Cubs or Sox?
Let's see. Well, I grew up on the north side, so I'm not going to say.
Uh-oh. So no, you can't leave the fans on the, you got to
Cubs.
Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. All right. One word that defines great leadership.
It's a tough one. Leadership is basically, to me, getting people to want to do things as opposed to being directed or told to do things. So, focusing, assembling, leading a team to a common high priority objective. So I think it's a short answer for the lightning round is just going to be
sounds like influencer.
Ease of doing your job, I guess. I'll think of it. Maybe
one word. Yeah, I'll come back.
I might have. Come back to that one.
Biggest lesson you learned last year?
To make sure my work-life balance is in check. It was a rough year for me. And I've just learned that, we've got to balance our lives, make sure we take care of people we love, and we take care of our jobs. Both are extremely important. And, as I look back on the year, I definitely think I had a good balance, and I was fortunate to have a balance. I want to make sure I can help promote that.
I'm trying to make that journey and transition to work-life balance myself, but work for me. Best advice you've ever received?
Be humble, I guess. Just let folks know you're approachable. Maybe that for a quick lightning round answer.
Yeah. Coffee meeting or Zoom meeting?
Oh, coffee meeting for sure.
Always. You're an in-person guy, huh?
Always.
Legacy or success?
Success.
Success over legacy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's deep. What advice would you give someone searching for the right mentor?
If you don't like the one you've got, fire them and move on. You've got to be 100% just comfortable with your mentor, because you'll soon learn that your essence, or what's in your body, is going to open up to any advice that he or she will give you, and you got to make sure it's the right person giving you the right advice, because you'll take it very much to heart, much more than you think. So yes, I would definitely say that.
For sure. Information is key, and you have to make sure you're getting the right information, right?
Information is key.
In this day and age, what does success look like compared to 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
I think just still just being able to enjoy what I do. I mean, I truly enjoy what I do. And I think it shows in my work, and hopefully I exude some confidence when I'm talking to people about it, and just enjoying what I do. It's important to make sure you enjoy what you do. It's a big part of your life, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, you're still enjoying it. You don't think about retirement?
I am. I think about it, but I'm just happy what I'm doing.
That's amazing.
Long as things hold out, every day's a gift, and just continue on. But I do want to make sure people understand that there's folks out there that can help them if they're ever in need of anything. Again, I've had a kind of a rough year, and a lot of people have reached out to me for a lot of help I never expected I would needed at this point in my life, and it was just very welcomed. So yeah, if anybody whatsoever has questions or struggling or just any issues they want to bring up to anybody, just ask for help. There's people out there that will help you and guide you, and be thankful you came to them, and be flattered, actually. So
that's great advice. A great final thought of the day: always ask for help. Be willing to ask for help. We have great mentors like Chestor out here that's willing, but once again, squeaky wheel gets the oil. So you have to be willing to ask.
Right, absolutely. Don't be shy. People out there to help you. Absolutely.
All right, and is there a way that folks can get in contact with you? You have a LinkedIn, Chestor?
I do. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay.
You can look at me on LinkedIn.
Okay. All right, look him up. He's always willing to help folks.
Yep, you got it. Yep, I got a lot of help in my days, and that's what we need to do with each other to help all of us get through every day.
Yeah.
And get successful at what we want to do in our lives and careers.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come here and have that discussion with me today. I think the award was truly deserved, Mentor of the Year, and just coming in and giving us gems today will help someone watching. So I truly appreciate that, and I look forward to continuing our partnership and friendship and just building together. So thank you so much.
We've been great together, and more to come. Thank you.
Sir. All right, thank you so much.